forgiveness and how forgiveness can really be of an impactful um, thing if we adopt it into our day-to-day life. So, without wasting much of an ado, I am going to quickly introduce our facilitators to us so that we can get to know them and get ready as they will be called on board. And before that, please kindly make sure you have your notes and your pen ready to jot everything that you've heard. And I want you to have an open mind towards this MMM session because you're really going to learn from it. I have my jotter and my notebook here, my notebook and my pen actually here, and I'm going to jot as much as I can. Thank you. So, our first facilitator for today is, and by the time I mention the person's name and read the bio to you all, I want you to welcome the person with your emoji. I want to see everything going on in the chat box. I want to see your excitement for them as you receive them. So the first facilitator is Mrs. Wusi. She is a multifaceted individual who effortlessly balances her roles as a homemaker, linguistic, and entrepreneur. As a homemaker, she creates a loving and nurturing environment for her family, fostering a sense of belonging and warmth. As the creative director of Lay Mo Kiddies, a children clothing brand, Wusi is driven by a desire to empower the next generation. Her brand seeks to clothe children from the inside out, emphasizing the importance of identity and faith. With a passion for raising children who find their passion in Christ, Wusi is dedicated to equipping them to stand firm in their belief in a world that often challenge their values. With a deep appreciation for languages, Wusi possesses exceptional linguistic skills. Her ability to communicate and teach French effectively across culture has enriched her life and broadened her perspective. In addition to her broader work, she also offers personalized French lessons, creating tailored learning experiences that help individuals build confidence, fluency, and cultural awareness. Please make welcome our first facilitator, Mrs. Wusi. And then we have a second facilitator who would also be speaking to us today. Mr. Oladamola Soas is a co-founder and chief operation officer at Pastures Nigeria, a leading fresh produce supply chain company in Nigeria, connecting farmers and consumers through sustainable and efficient supply chain system. With over 10 years of experience in executive leadership and entrepreneurship, he brings deep expertise in operations and management, business strategy, leadership, and project execution. He holds a master's degree in social psychology and agribusiness management. Before co-founding Pastures, Oladamola served as general manager at TL Farms and executive administrator at Hill City Foundation. He is passionate about driving social and economic impact through innovation and collaboration. He's committed to growing Pastures Nigeria into a leading and trusted platform that delivers quality fresh produce to millions across Nigeria and beyond. He is he's married to Orewogene and they are blessed with Ola Oluwa and Adeola. Together, they are committed to inspiring others to be the best they have been created to be. Thank you. Please make welcome Mr. Oladamola, our second facilitator for today. I'm not seeing you. I'm not seeing your reaction in the chat box. I am not seeing your reaction in the chat box. Are you not interested? Are you not excited for today? Hello, Mika, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly, but I'm looking for
Okay, okay.
Mr. Damla and Mrs. Suarez on the call.
Yeah, they're on call. They are.
Um I don't think they're using their actual names because I'm searching for them. I can't find.
Okay, Emeka, I'm here. I don't know. It looks like I'm sounding like, oh, my name here is Rhoda. I don't know
Rhoda.
how that
Oh,
happened.
wow.
Can you
Okay,
see
that's
me?
interesting. Okay. Okay, I can see you, sir. Then
Maybe it was the
let's
link she sent to me I used directly.
okay, because I've been scanning. Okay, thank you, sir. I'm also looking for Mrs. Wissy as well.
I am right here.
Oh, you're also Rhoda. Interesting. Okay. All right, sir. Okay, so you can all yeah, over to you.
Okay, so I can go on.
Yeah, yes, you can, right? Rhoda, over to
Okay. My name is Rhoda. I see.
you. That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Rhoda, you've christened all of us.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
technology did.
It's fine. All right. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is good to be here. I'm glad to be with you this morning. And thank you for the honor, the privilege of coming here to share with you. And today's topic is an interesting one that concerns you and I, concerns everyone. I'm talking about forgiveness. So thank you for all the welcome. I see it. Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here too. Okay, so if you don't mind, quickly, can you type in the chat box, what is forgiveness to you? What's your definition of forgiveness? Can you see me? Is my camera still on? Can you see and hear me, please?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
loud
We
and
can
clear.
see and we can hear you too.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So let me see. What are your definitions? Letting go of wrongs, letting go of anger and hurt. Okay. Forgiveness means letting go of offenses coming from both loved, okay, both loved ones and other people. Okay. Yes. Letting go keeps on coming up here. Yes. The ability or act of letting go of a certain wrong done to you by a person. Okay, so yes, we are all right. Oh, I like this. In my own understanding, choosing to let go of wrong done to you in order for grudges or resentment not to come. So that's good. So we're establishing that it is a choice. Okay. So before we go in, I'd like to read from the Bible, Colossians chapter 3, verse 13. For me, it's my manual for everything that I do, and I believe it is for many of you as well. Colossians 3:13, it says, bearing with one another and forgiving one another. If anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, so you also must do. It says must. So if you are a believer, if you are a Christian, first of all, let's establish that the Bible expects us to forgive. The Lord expects us to forgive. The famous Lord's Prayer that we always say says what? Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who have trespassed. So forgive us our sins as we also forgive those who have sinned against us. So as we want to be given forgiveness, we have to be willing to also give it to others. So let's look at the slide on the screen. I believe we can all see it. What do you see? What can you see? What picture is this? That's a picture of what? In one word, what is this called? This kind of picture. Can you put it in the chat if you know what it's called? Collage, okay. Yeah, it's a collage, a mix of different things put together. Yes, collage. There's also another name for it. Okay, someone said marble tiles, painting, mosaic. Yes, mosaic art. So yeah, that's the word I was looking for, mosaic. And you know that a mosaic is usually made up of broken pieces, right? You can take like broken glass, okay, and then put it together. It's broken. Normally, when something is broken, we just trash it like, it's broken, I can't use it. So I'll just put it in the trash. But mosaic art has been able to bring something broken and turn it into something beautiful. So if you look at the picture, you can see that it's beautiful, different colors put together, use glue, use some expertise, put it together, and you can have a beautiful thing out of that. So that's forgiveness as well. When people hurt us, there's a brokenness, there's something that shatters, okay? And hurt comes in different ways. There could be betrayal, there could be break of trust, there could be physical pain, there could be, I mean, words, emotional pain, all kinds of things happen that make one feel hurt. Now, whether it is your right to feel hurt or not is a different question. But the fact is that when something happens that hurts you, there's something that shatters. And some relationships are being severed from just one bad incident, from one wrong action, one wrong move by someone. But today we're here to remind each other that even where there is brokenness, where something has been shattered, we can salvage it, right? We can forgive. There can be room for forgiveness. There are so many great stories about forgiveness in the Bible. And there's one I heard of some time back of a woman who forgave someone who actually killed her husband, killed her family. He was in prison, and she didn't stop there. In one of these African countries, she didn't stop there. She ended up adopting that guy when he came out of prison. So you can imagine the extent to her forgiveness. So forgiveness can be in stages, can be something that looks mild or seems simple, like, oh, why did you say that? I don't like it. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yes, I forgive you. And it can be something really deep. But in whatever case, we can forgive. There's room to forgive. All right, let's go on to the next slide, please. Okay, so choosing forgiveness. I like the definition that said choosing. Someone mentioned it in the comments saying choosing to forgive. So it is a choice. That means we won't always feel like it. In fact, I don't think anybody feels like forgiving. I don't know about you, but forgiveness doesn't really feel, sometimes, the natural human thing to do is, I want to get back at this person. How dare you talk to me? How can he think? How can she think? Let me show her. Let me pay him or pay her back in their own coin. That's the natural human thinking, okay? But is that what will help us? Does that really help you and I if I hold on to the grudge? I was talking to somebody recently, trying to mediate. Something happened, and one person told me that, see what happened. We had an exchange with this lady, and she ended up blocking me. And I was like, oh, wow. So when I got talking to the other lady to find out her own angle, we explained by saying that this other person said something hurtful first, and she said something hurtful in return, that she really doesn't have any bad blood. She's fine. Like, they are even. So she's okay. That she only blocked so that they won't have future issues. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of like it. If the other person ignored Christian principles in the first place by talking to her the way the person did, she will not be held bound by those principles. And for her, that's what works. But can that really work? No. We need to choose to forgive. It's a choice. So most times you have to choose to forgive before your feelings catch up. Okay? In the beginning, forgiveness looks like this. This thing is, it pain me. It's hurting. I'm still upset. But I know that the right thing to do is to forgive. I choose to forgive. And if it's a case where you have to even tell the person, maybe the person has even been asking for forgiveness, or in some cases, the person may never ask for forgiveness. You choose to forgive and say, okay, I forgive. You actually say it. You actually choose it and say, okay, I have forgiven. Even though there's no evidence that shows you that you are forgiven right at that moment, but you have made a choice and you work towards making it a reality. gradually, when you remember that incident, you won't remember it with so much pain anymore. That's when you say it has been completed, like forgiveness has been completed. You've chosen to forgive and you actually said those words, okay, I forgive. Okay, so let's remember that a mosaic is not just beautiful when it's still broken, or it's not just beautiful by chance. It is beautiful because someone chose to piece it together, to pick up the broken pieces and put them together. Those colors we just saw on the previous slide, if they were just in pieces on the floor, you and I would just be like, what's this trash here? But because it has been put together, it looks beautiful and you can look at it and people can actually pay for it. Okay, so you have to make a choice. You have to be intentional about that forgiving. It is an intentional choice. You have to work it out. Okay, so remember also that forgiveness doesn't mean that what happened, you'll be in denial of what happened. No. Let's move to the next slide, please. Okay, the slide hasn't changed here. Are we there? Yes. Let's see. Forgiveness does not equate denial. Yes, let's maintain that fact. Okay, so the big idea, forgiveness is a choice to release someone from a debt they owe you. You are releasing someone. It's like someone owes you something and you choose to release that person from that debt. It is a choice. When you forgive someone, you are saying, you owe me, but I'm choosing to let go. A lot of you use that phrase in your definition. You said letting go of hurt, letting go. So it's letting the person go, actually. It's like you've held someone in prison and you are deciding to let the person go. Because when you don't forgive someone, you are holding the person. It's like the person is your prisoner. You've held the person in your heart. You've held the person captive. And you can only know peace yourself if you let go. Because if you harbor unforgiveness wherever you see the person, even if you're having a good day, even if everything is splendid, the moment the person's name is mentioned or you just see the person, what happens? Your expression just changes. It tells you that you are actually, in the end, you are actually the one in prison. When you hold someone captive and deny the person forgiveness, you are actually being held captive. Okay, so it's the same thing when someone owes you money. You have it on your mind and you say, this person is owing me. Pay me my money, pay me my money. You too, you are on your toes. I need that money. I want that money, right? But when you get to a point where you say, I think I need to let go of this money. I need to forget about this debt. Let me write it off. Do you know that even though it's not as if you're happy that you lost that money, it's not as if that money has returned to your bank account automatically, but there's a piece you feel like, okay, nobody is owing me anymore. I've released it. Right? It's the same thing. Owed your borrowed money to you. But when you let go, when you say, I'm writing off the debt, I'm writing it off, you're not owing me anymore, I'm not, it's because you want your own peace of mind. You want your own peace of mind even more than the person that is owing you. So in the same way, forgiveness is also that choice to release, to let go of the person, to say, no, I don't want you to keep on holding me down. with this. I'm choosing to let go. Okay. So when someone wrongs you, it really feels like that debt is created, just like the money that someone is owing you. But when you choose to forgive, you are releasing that person from the debt that the person owes you. You don't just keep holding on to it. Okay. You don't keep holding on to it. And you're not in denial. You're not saying, oh, this thing did not happen. You're not saying, okay, maybe I deserved it, or just putting yourself down too. No, it's a choice you are making to say, let me allow this person go. It actually shows a lot of power because it's not easy to let go. A lot of people want to be vindictive. A lot of people want to hold on to that and say, I will show this person, I will show him. If he wants to go low, I will go lower. You know, you hear people say that sometimes. But the bigger person goes the other way to say, no, I won't go this route. I will choose to forgive. I'll choose to let go. It is difficult sometimes. It is difficult even when you have every reason to hold on. It is difficult to let go. It is difficult. Sometimes it's easier to hold on to the hurt. But when you let go, it actually helps you. That's when your healing truly begins. Is someone from the debts that you feel they owe you. Because remember, they may think they don't owe you anything. They may think they are not wrong, but you were hurt for one reason or the other. We all react to things in different ways, different reasons. You know, some of us act from our place of trauma. Some of us maybe in our own right were offended. So many reasons. So it's not a question of whether your hurt is valid or not, but the fact that you feel hurt, you need to make that choice to release the person from that the debt that they owe you. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. So what forgiveness is not? We have said it is letting go, right? We have said it's a choice to let go, release someone from the debt they owe you. Now let's remember these points. Forgiveness is not saying it didn't matter. That's like trying to just brush it off, say no, it didn't matter. Meanwhile, inside you, it is in quotes peppering you. But you say, no, that it didn't matter. It didn't even matter to me. Because sometimes we don't want to feel as if we're at a loss, like the person got to me. We don't want to accept that. So sometimes we just choose to say, no, it didn't even matter who. Is it me that they are doing that to? Don't worry, they are wasting their time. It doesn't matter. Meanwhile, you actually know that it matters. So you have to accept it yourself that there's something here and sit with it. This has to also do with self-awareness, emotional intelligence. Do you know yourself enough to acknowledge that this kind of thing hurts you, or this is your trigger here? What triggered you in this particular situation? Okay, so don't just say, no, it didn't matter. Someone will like, oh, you mean Peter said this to you, and be like, oh, no, nothing. No, it didn't even move me, nothing. No. And that's also like pretending it didn't hurt, right? Trying to just say, no, it didn't matter, don't bother. Especially when we are people pleasers, okay? If I am a people pleaser, even when someone hurts me, I would want to just, oh, no, don't worry, it didn't matter. Because you always want to be in people's good books. That doesn't help at all. It will just make you have that kind of hurt. People won't understand in the first place what hurts you, what you don't like, because you are always dancing around you and saying, no, it didn't matter. Meanwhile, it actually mattered deep within. You felt hurt, okay? Or pretending it didn't hurt so that you feel like, no, it hurts you. You can't pretend that it did not happen. Like recently, I heard a story of someone that said, if you cheat on me, as the woman was saying, someone cheated on her, husband cheated on her, and she went to cheat in return. Like, okay, I'll show you that I'm a person from, you called one particular part of the country. I don't want to say it right now. And in the end, she found out that he wasn't even cheating. He was trying to help somebody. He just didn't tell her, which is a story for another day. But she was trying to like, if he does this to me, I'll just go and do it back. No, acknowledge the fact that if you're doing it back, okay? Then also there's this one that is always a serious one, waiting for an apology. Oh, sometimes it never comes. Sometimes you never get that apology. Because it takes someone who accepts in the first place that they hurt you. Please, Mufon Asuko, can you mute, please? Admin, can you mute that person? Okay. So, waiting for an apology will only come from someone who first of all recognizes that he or she has hurt you. Or, can you mute yourself, please? Hello? Okay, thank you. So an apology can only come from someone who acknowledges that they have hurt you and from someone who acknowledges that apologizing is important to move forward, who respects your relationship, who has a level of maturity. Because see, there are some people that will hurt you and think they owe you nothing. Why should I apologize? So if you want to make your forgiveness depend on the other person's action, you will miss it. You will miss it because you won't always get an apology. Even people that acknowledge that they've hurt you, they may feel too proud to apologize. There are people that you will never hear them apologize. You will never hear them say, I'm sorry. Now, all of us are Africans. Say, how many of us got apologies from our parents, for instance, even when they knew that they made a mistake or they were wrong? Someone even told us a story recently. I can't remember where I saw that, about when they were growing up and how she did something wrong and her sister was the one that like shouted or did. Her mom just came in, and when she realized what had been done, she came and started beating the sister that was shouting. Meanwhile, the sister shouting, hey, mommy will finish you today. Oh, this thing that you did. Hey, hey. And she had her drama queen. So beat and beat. When they finished and now explained everything to the mom now said, she too, why was she shouting like that? You know, instead of even say, oh, my daughter, I'm sorry, I did not. So the person was trying to tell us how her mother can never say sorry. And she now said she remembers this incident. So how many of us now have held it, you know, so close to our chest and refuse to forgive our parents because they didn't say sorry? I mean, then we'll be in trouble now, because how many times would our parents hurt us or do something wrong and they won't say, they just move on like nothing. We sort of develop a thick skin and go with it and say, that's the way they are. So if you can make that excuse for your mom, for your dad, why can't you make it for the next person, the other person? Don't always wait for an apology. It feels better nonetheless. Yes, it feels better when you get an apology. It makes your healing faster, right? It makes it faster because you feel like, okay, this person acknowledges the hurt, but the person may never do. Don't wait for it all the time. Choose to heal irrespective of that person's action, whether the person apologizes or not. And then what we say that forget the pain, forgetting the pain. Now they say forgive and forget. I don't know where we got that from, because you can't forget. It's not as if the drive in your brain will just delete that part and say it didn't happen. No, the difference is when you truly forgive, even when you remember and when it's like that, then it's like you haven't forgiven. When they say forgive and forget, it actually means forget about the hurt. Like, forget about raising it up with so much anger and so much hatred. Your brain doesn't just delete it. It's there, it's a memory. Sometimes you may use it as a teaching tool for someone else and say, okay, let me tell you what happened in my relationship with this person. This happened, this happened, this happened. But today, see where we are. So clearly you remember what happened. The fact that you forgive does not mean you forgot about it, deleted it from your memory. You don't just remember it with anger, with pain, with, all that. So forgetting the pain, that's not what is equal to forgiveness. Rather, when you acknowledge that today I remember it, but it's no longer painful, then you know that forgiveness has taken place. And then also automatically trusting again. Sometimes we think that when we forgive somebody, then it means that you trust the person totally. No, sometimes the hurt was caused from broken trust. Remember that trust is earned, okay? Forgiveness is a choice, but you have to earn someone's trust. If you hurt someone, you broke their trust, and you apologize and the person says, I forgive you, don't just expect that things will just automatically go, become perfect and chummy and the person will just trust you fully. You took what belongs to the person, and tomorrow you want the person to just drop everything again at your disposal. It's just like if I know someone has a stealing problem, you come to my house, I won't leave everywhere open and display all my valuables before you and leave you alone in the house. That would be foolish. Okay, so when someone has broken your trust, they have to earn it again. You forgive, but it doesn't mean you now just trust. Oh, I trust him now, I trust her. Then you just let go of all your guards. No, that's not what forgiveness means. It doesn't mean being foolish. We forgive, but we open our eyes. And then reconciliation. The fact that you forgive does not mean that that relationship must return to its original state. There are some relationships that they are gone, right? You may not be chummy anymore, but you can be civil with the person. You can wish the person well, because maybe some of the things that have happened have shown that you people can actually not work together in this aspect or on that aspect. It doesn't mean that you must return all the favors and everything back to what it was. No, maybe the problem that happened showed you the lapses in this place or showed you that this can't work. And so you forgive, you let go, and you move on. Okay, you move on. You don't hold things against someone because you want to prove or rather you won't hold anything against the person anymore, but you don't have to be best of friends. You don't have to be besties to show that you have forgiven. You can love each other from afar. There are those kinds of relationships. So let's remember that forgiveness is not being in denial. It is not just returning to status quo to prove that you are forgiven. It is not waiting for an apology. It doesn't fall on you on its own. It is intentional. It is a choice. And there's one quote that I like. It says, forgiveness is the fragrance that remains on the heel of the one that crushed it. It's like a flower that you crush with your heel, right? And then the fragrance remains on your heel because you are the one that crushed that flower. So that's forgiveness. The fragrance is with the person that forgives. Let's always choose to forgive. Forgiveness doesn't erase your story. It transforms your broken pieces into a picture, okay, and that helps you to heal. All right, so I'd like to call on Mr. Damola to continue from here as we go deeper into this. Mr. Damola Suarez, please.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, Ma. When you have one of your mentors speak ahead of you and you ask, what else am I supposed to say here? Thank you very much, Ma. Father Musli. Awesome session. We've learned about, what forgiveness is and what forgiveness is not. And it's quite an interesting one that we're sharing, because especially as young people, and as we begin to find balance uh to life and things that we're supposed to do, we begin to see that some things try to hold us back. Like someone said that unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's like you taking in poison and you are now expecting, this poison I've drank, it will kill this person. So we're going to look quickly. I don't know if the slides can be up now. um Admin, you can help to share. So so and that's why we're going to try to drive this home a bit more practical, in terms of who do we need to forgive. And I'm going to also try to paint some scenarios, just to be a bit vulnerable with us, and also use myself as a case in study. And in my interaction with young people, and engaging with us, I see that many of us have, sometimes similar stories, looking at our background, looking at the African culture. And like when Mrs. Wusi was sharing about the lady that the mom never apologizes and all those kind of things, virtually, a good number of us, maybe our own children may not, or even probably they are even still caught in that web. But we'll see these scenarios, happening over and over again, whereby, in the African environment or in the culture where we are, adults or older people are never wrong. Even when they are, it is because you did some. Is it that something you did or something you did not do that made them to react that way? So they are never wrong, and we are caught in that web of and over again we get sometimes these whole hurting feelings, and sometimes for some of us it looks like the background being abused, and we have allowed ourselves to be caught in that web. I remember when growing up, I sometimes, around probably when I was moving from primary six to GS1, and some things started becoming, a lot more reality to me. And I started getting to hear more about, how, of course, my mom, I grew up with a single mom, and my mom literally, raised me. I even remember then, when I was giving birth to, it was a tug of war between my mom's family and my dad's family. And, my dad's family literally were like, oh, maybe they are not the one. They had to come and check whether, there's a sign that their children in their family used to have. And it was whether this guy was going to be accepted or it wasn't going to be accepted. And after, at the age of 4, my dad suddenly just disappeared. Never found him. And when I was 17 years, so it means that from when I was 3, in fact, the first time I could see my dad and realize, oh, this is my dad, was when I was 17 years old. And the next time I was going to see him again was when I was getting married. And I saw my mom go through, serious pain, moving from, based on all the pressure and all the stress of having to raise, this guy as a single mom. She literally even broke down mentally. That, imagine following your mom to psychiatric home, suffering from schizophrenia, for most part of, in fact, from when I was literally in that primary six till when she passed on. And, as you're leaving university, you're also discovering that she was having cancer and, fear, and she literally passed on from it. And, the rage and the vexation and, and all of this, all welling up in you. But as I began to grow and come to understanding God, and the challenge with this thing many times is that we get so angry with some persons, and out of that hatred or that unforgiveness, we literally begin to become the shadow of the things we hate because of unforgiveness. So as I began to grow and of course learning that this is not, I don't want to be like, if we stay in this unforgiveness, I can end up in, out of not liking this thing that this man or this person had done, I can end up becoming someone like him. So I had to begin to find family patterns. So now it means that I needed to break this pattern in my family, and I needed to begin to find what are ways to do this. And that was part of the things that even geared me up to begin to connect and helping me even find places like Hill City. I remember then when I was in school, 200 or 300 level, and I participated in Hill City event, and Mr. Obi then asking me, so why not apply for Hill City Foundation scholarship and all that? I was like, me at this stage of my life, it's of course maybe because I had some help from somewhere and all that, but I knew that at that moment I needed a father figure in my life. I needed to be able to go through this hurt and heal through this hurt, and so this leads us to the topic, or what we're going to the next thing on this conversation. Who do we need to forgive? This same burden, kept me. I remember that literally from GS1 to GS3, I struggled through school. I was literally in last five, and unfortunately, I went to a school where they used to announce first five and last five on the assembly ground. Of all the classes. So the whole of JS, but yeah, I got into school late. Momsy trying to ensure to struggle to gain admission, then to a federal university, federal government secondary school. And I remember one day I was in class, GS1, second term, and one guy, normal children play and all that, and he just used the word, "Oh, if they burn your father, where come out." My father, the all the anger and all the vexation of your family, I poured it on him with one slap, and the guy collapsed. As in, he literally collapsed, that they had to, rush him to the sick bay and all of that. So who do we need to forgive? So even this unforgive, and I saw how I struggled through those processes and all that. So the first person we need to forgive is ourselves. Sometimes, and the hardest person, and you just begin to think many times, why do I belong to this family? Who sent me come this, or why me? Look at, and you begin to probably not been something, and and you continue to go through this pressure. But
Okay, I think he's having some network issues. Mr. Damola, can you hear us? Hello?
okay. So I had to change device here
Oh, okay,
while
but
my
I
system is
can hear
coming
you.
up. Can we hear me here, please?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, so the first person that you need to forgive is yourself. Forgive yourself from some of those things that they were never your decision. You didn't decide the family that you had to come into. You didn't decide the other person's action to even hurt you. And some of us are carrying all of these burdens, and for some people also, like I interacting with teenagers, especially in this time, we're seeing that parents are beginning to put the responsibility of, the family, even on, for some of us, it looks like as you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your younger ones, you're literally, while in school, you're literally looking for funds to even sponsor your younger ones at home. And I'm sure that this conversation probably going to serve as healing to someone's heart. You need to forgive yourself from all of this frustration, because you didn't cause it. It wasn't, you were not the one that created how the other person treated you. So, and without realizing it, you begin to live quietly in self-blame, your self-esteem is being affected, your morale is being affected, you are not able to live on or move on. Oh, maybe my parents, this person treated me with this level of hate because I'm black, or this person did this to me because I'm like this. And you begin to, out of living out of that reality, you begin to find silent way of blaming yourself. You need to forgive yourself. You need to give yourself, that emotional freedom. Free yourself from that lock. So the first person that you need to forgive is yourself. And when we talk about forgiveness, we're not looking at, there are some other salient ones, that are far away, but let's bring them closely first. The second person, again, that we need to learn to forgive is our parents. Think about it. Think about the environment where you grew up in. Maybe father physically wasn't present, he wasn't emotionally present. Parents always having one argument or the other. The home wasn't a peaceful one, and you just feel like, man, why was I giving birth to in this home? And in fact, the experience or the exposure your parents enabled you into has probably made you, put you in such a stage whereby, like this morning I was having an interaction with someone, and one of the words the person used on the status was like, oh, I hate all men. Oh, person claims, oh, he has a loving relationship, has whatever it is, with parents and all that. But there is somewhere that such mindset is coming from. And because of those experience, you have already boxed, like there are some of us say, oh, all men are scum. Oh, all women are gold diggers. And you begin to create flawed ideologies about life. It's coming from a deep place of, unforgiveness. The fact, would you say because of you had a plane crash, or somebody, your friend or someone had a plane crash, that means that you will never have to fly again? And if you want to be a global citizen and you are praying to be, oh, I want to be a global person, I want to represent, I want to sit on stages across the world, and you already have the mindset that or I can't fly because there was a plane crash for your friend and all that. So it's the same thing. You already say that, oh, all men are this or women are that, or family. You need to learn to forgive your parents. You need to learn to forgive, even siblings, people that looks like. And the interesting thing is that the closest it is, the more hurting it is. I would like to say sometimes that the more you love or the more you give to that relationship, the more it hurts. So it means that the closer people are to you, the more entrusting, the more we've given our trust and belief to people, the more it hurts us when they actually commit, the act. And the third set of person, again, that you need to forgive, is that you need to forgive others. There are other people in our lives, and at this moment I just want us to take a moment, it's not far away, and seek deep. Do I need to forgive myself? What are incidents, what are issues, are there decisions I've made in my life that looks like, oh, maybe because I didn't go to school, I didn't attend class properly, I had to drop out of school, start school over again, or because of this set of friends that I chose, it has brought me to this phase of life. Ask yourself, what are areas of your life that you need to forgive yourself for, to move on from, to break that chain? Then secondly, are there things that you look back at home? In fact, I know there was a point whereby once there is holiday, you prefer to stay back at school. You just find a way. In fact, some of us rented accommodation outside school hostel, so that you don't even just have any reason to go back home. And the thought of going back home is not exciting, and there's nothing really to go back home for, and you just want to move on. So are there so do you need to forgive people at home, parents? What are those things you think you need to really, really forgive them for? And then other people, who are the other people, friends, relationships, engagement and all that you think that has hurt you, that you need to forgive? Forgiveness becomes real when it moves from a concept. We're not just talking of an idea, it's a part of our lives. And we are gradually becoming, evolving daily by the choices of, the people we choose to forgive, and hold bound in our hearts, or the people we let to set give freedom. As you free people off your heart, as you give this forgiveness, what happens also is that you are actually the one that is being healed. You are setting yourself, free. So how do you forgive? What helps you to forgive? First is that you need to separate the person from the action. Yeah, this person did this. I'm going to forgive this person, although I don't like the action. And he who understands that he has been loved the most learns to forgive the most. If you know that even in my frailty, in my what do really, you tell yourself, no, 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 what this person did is too much, I cannot forgive. Do you know what he did? Like, really, do you know what he did? He almost literally took my life. Yes, he almost took your life, but thank God he did not take your life. If you also know how much it took God to forgive you, are you saying that your life is even worth more than that other person's own? So you must separate the actions from, the person. Yeah, the person did something that's wrong, that may have hurt you, that wasn't nice, but learn to, separate those. So if you can look at, people from that perspective, separate the action, separate the person, and you can truly look at the person as a human created by God in his image and likeness, and see the human frailty in the person. You truly, know that it is God's grace. As in, I'm someone that have been so helped by God. How much more am I not able to forgive? As the Bible says that if you don't forgive your neighbor, how do you want your Father in heaven to also forgive you? Instead of labeling or defining them by the hurt, you say what they did is wrong, but I will not let it define how I see myself or the future. Refuse to rehearse the pain. Refuse to always, we now do things that always want to take us back to those pains. You want to, try, we say forgive, but forgive, yeah, we can forgive, but it's difficult to forget. Of course, your brain is not automatically wiping off, but it's that you can truly look at these people and say to yourself, again, that I can remember the things that you did to me, but it doesn't hurt me anymore because I've let go. I've truly forgiven. And it starts from a place of decision. Forgiveness is a decision. I'm not saying it's automatically happen, but it's like you start from, I want to forgive this person, but I don't know how to do it. I can't help it. Lord, help me to forgive. That's the place it starts from. But when you hold on and say, me, forgive this person. No, 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 no. I would rather forgive the devil than forgive this person. So refuse to let the pain hurt, to react the pain. Respond differently, not reactively. Don't react to situations. You know that thing, every time you see the person, once they tell the person, maybe the person is in your class and they say, both of you, have you have you seen people out of forgiveness? Once you hear that that person is progressing, you are angry. You are like, oh, what? God, you are still allowing this evil person to make progress. Come on. You start from there, celebrate with him. Oh, you heard that someone that hurt you bought a car. See, let me tell you, that person that broke up with you, they will get married. They will find people that will love them again. They will get married. They will make money. They will move on. And it is you that will continue to be hurt. That, oh, you think because of your hurt or because you came out and swore for the person will not make progress. No, that's why it's like you are drinking poison and you're expecting the other person to die. They may not even know, like Ms. Uzi said, that they had even done anything to you. So you need to make forgiveness a reality. Then again, does forgiveness means not setting boundaries? Of course, like I like to share out, I like to bring it home. There is one of my mom's, what do you call it, auntie. During my wedding, my dad had to call me and say, who is this woman? This woman is almost like a, I don't know whether it's to say narcissistic person. Every time you speak to her, she's energy draining, like literally energy draining. It's like you don't. So every time you talk to this person literally makes you feel, rather than bringing your spirit down. And you just wonder, and this person will complain, you're not calling me, why would I call when I know that every time I try to reach out to you, you just put the person on the edge, and everybody literally complains the same thing about you. There's just a wrong negative energy. Would I want to stay around? Yeah, I don't have any grudge, we're not holding a forgive. If there is anything that needs to bring us together, we come together, peaceful atmosphere. But all those talk of you're not even calling me, you're not even call you for so you set boundaries. If you know that engagement or interaction with this person has a way of impacting your health or your person, you can set boundaries. Like Ms. Susie said, I know that every time you come around, something must go missing. Why would I even give you access? So boundaries are not punishment, they are protection. They allow forgiveness to coexist with wisdom. Choose freedom over holding on. Choose freedom over holding on. So you begin to live with this posture. I will not let this shape my relationship. One of the things, I will not let what you did shape my relationship. I would not let it define my identity. I would not let it control my future. We are allowing people's actions towards us that we have refused to forgive impact on living a new life, engaging with new people, because this friendship didn't work. You stop saying, I don't have any friend anymore. I don't interact with people anymore. Even the ones, and the truth is that when God wants to bless you, God will bless you first through his word, and secondly through man. Even to bring God's words to reality, he needs men around you to bring it to reality. So why are you now putting yourself away from people? So from hurt to freedom, as we begin to close this session, I want you to, okay, move on. I think I'm on the third slide. Now I've moved, done making forgiveness a reality, then from hurt to freedom. Can we hear me? Am I still audible?
Yes, sir, we can hear you clearly.
Okay. So we can move to the from hurt to freedom. Next. Okay. So forgiveness is not about what happened in the past, it's about the future you are choosing to step into. I want to, bring everything to a wrap. One simple direction from hurt. So what we're trying to do is to move you from the place of hurt to the place of freedom, because forgiveness is not just an idea we understand; it's a decision. We've talked about it as a decision. So are you going to choose today to forgive? I hope we are taking time to really note who are the people, who are the events, who are the associations that I need to forgive, I need to let go, that I'm holding in my heart, and free myself from this burden. When you choose forgiveness, something begins to shift inside of you. You may not always feel it instantly, but over time you produce something powerful. It brings you into peace. It brings emotional clarity. It improves your relationship. And over time, it leads to, personal growth. How do you become a person of forgiveness? I think you become a person of forgiveness by practice. I tell people that it's okay. I know that there's some persons that because of the incident and the activities and the event of life, you have been so hot, you have been so bitter. It looks like at every point in time when you try to give life an opportunity again to build friendship, to connect with people, it just looks like they just hurt you. People are just out. So, but rather than seeing life as always, life is so wicked, it's always about people hurting you or people wanting to harm you. Why not you tweak the narrative and see yourself as someone who is bringing healing to a hurting world? The world is hurting already, and we don't know, is a reality that we know. But I'm not going to be part of that hurt. I'm going to be part of the healing. I'm going to be part of the forgiveness. So, and forgiveness, any character you see as a default in you, it's okay for it to be a default, but do you know that you can build on it? The more you practice forgiveness, the more you practice loving people, the better you are in it. So I'm not saying that after this engagement, you will just wake up tomorrow and go and forgive all those evil people in your life, all those evil family, uncle, your father's uncle that took your father's property and didn't give you and made you people's life miserable. I'm not saying you wake up and just forget and everything looks like it's all over tomorrow. No. But you can take one step. The first step is write it down, note it down. Say, God, this thing really pain me, or this man really pain me. God, help me, help me. I want to forgive, help me, but it's not. Cry it out. Then tomorrow, start practicing it. Rather, okay, I choose today. I will not forgive all of them, or I'll forgive one first. Practice how it is. You can even send a message. You can even try to reach out to the person. You can try to do something that shows to yourself that you have truly forgiven the person. So you can begin to practice, moving from hurt to freedom. Practicing moving from hurt to freedom. Who do you need to ask yourself? Who do I need to forgive first? Not in general, but specific. Don't say, "Oh, I forgive all my father's family people." Who are the father's family people? Then ask yourself a second question. What is one small step I can take today towards forgiveness? It may not be full emotional breakthrough today, but maybe it's a decision, a prayer, a release, a conversation, or simple letting go of the need for repayment. And as we close, I want to leave you with this truth. Forgiveness is not about what happened in the past, it's about the future you are choosing to step into. Because every time you forgive, you are just releasing a memory and you are opening up a door to freedom. Leave you with these final words. All possibilities are on the other side of forgiveness. You have the possibility to live a life of freedom. You have a possibility to live a life of thriving. The more you hold people in your heart, the more you hold yourself down as well. You are not able to live fully because every time you're about stepping into that next step, the hurt, the pain, the grief, the fear, the confusion, the emotional rage. Actually, unforgiveness is actually a disease that gradually kills you. Because just imagine that because I've not forgiven this person and the person walks into a room, just imagine all the emotional burst that comes into you, fear, guilt, anger, revenge. Imagine all those emotional baggage flooding into your heart and you're just fuming. And meanwhile, the other person is living his life, he's even happy. And when the person eats, you tell yourself, I need a chop. People like this suppose they chop. The person does this, you say, I need they drive motor. People like this suppose they drive motor for their life. God suppose just send trailer, may kill them. You are the one that is holding yourself bound. They've moved on. They don't even know that they hurt you. They are living their life. So so all possibilities are on the other side of forgiveness. So don't just hear this as a statement, hear it as an invitation to release what has held you back so you can finally step into what is ahead. So as you leave this space, don't just carry the information, carry a decision. You need to make a decision because in every MMM session, in every session that we have, what changes a man's life is not the volume of information or the words he hears, it's the decisions he makes with those words. What decision are you making today? Because what is waiting for you is not just healing from what hurts you, it's the possibility of what your life can become when you finally let go. Thank you. Over to you, admin.
Thank you so much. That was truly profound. I would like to sincerely appreciate our facilitators, Mrs. Wusi and Mr. Damola, for that insightful presentation on forgiveness. And I must say, your words have not only broadened my own understanding. I don't know about the awardees that are here, but it has broadened my own understanding and has challenged how I usually see forgiveness, especially from personal experience and relationship with people in my life. But I'm really, really glad knowing today that forgiveness is no weakness. It is the ability to choose your freedom and the ability to be the mature person in any circumstances. Thank you so, so much. So, I would these kindly show your appreciation to our facilitators by using the chat box and appreciating them for such a wonderful time they've had with us. Before we move into our question and answers section, I would like us to pause and engage with a reflective thought question that I drew from today's discussion on forgiveness. So, our dears, think of a time you struggled to forgive someone. What held you back? With what you've heard so much in the past, let me say about an hour ago, what have you learned so about forgiveness, and how has what you've learned so far challenged or reshaped your perspective on forgiveness? Now, I don't want you to answer the question. I just want you to reflect on it. All right, with that in mind, we will now open the floor for questions. If you have your question, please feel free to share on the chat box, or you can simply raise your hand and an admin will be there to let you speak. Who would like to begin? If you have your questions, you can either type in the chat box or you could raise your hand and we will call you. Please, if you have a question, let's be swift about it. Okay, we have someone who has raised their hand. Kindly unmute and speak.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this session today. My name is Maya Isaac. So I want to ask this question. What happens when we have talked about forgiveness? So how do you go about forgiving one who where is not sorry and is not ready to stop whatever he does that hurts you? And it's a family member, for instance, that you are sure that as I'm forgiving this one, the person will still do something deliberately that will hurt you. So what can we say about that instance? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Please, we'll give this call to this question to Mrs. Lucy if she's on call.
Okay. Thank you, Damala, for that session. It was another impactful one. Okay, so about the question, remember that we said that when forgiving, you don't wait for an apology, right? You already know that. So for instance, assuming that this person is the one that has a character flaw, maybe it's an older relative that feels like they are always right. You know how older people feel like what I can see on a tree, you can't see lying down. So I'm always right. You can't tell me anything. I am right. If it's that kind of situation, you just set boundaries, like you protect your heart, right? Your relative is your relative. You cannot disown them, so to speak, but you do not have to have that very close relationship with them all the time. I have some relatives that are annoying. I have some aunties that are very careless with their words. Like they can speak, they can insult you from top to bottom in 1 minute, and the next minute they are dancing and praising you and singing with you, and that's their way of doing things. I don't have to accept it and keep on being in that same space. It doesn't mean that I will never see them or never visit them. I just keep it limited. They have limited access to me. Do you understand? So I won't be calling them every day and saying, how are you? And then giving them the opportunity to say things that will hurt me. Okay? I understand that it is their flaw that is speaking. It is their assuming that I'm not the one wrong, because sometimes you will see things the way we are, because it's a two-way thing. It's your own side now we're hearing. Maybe the person keeps hurting you. There are instances where there's something you are not doing right, and maybe that particular relative is the type that is straightforward and blunt and will tell you as it is. Will say, this is what you are doing, you're messing up here. And if you're the kind of person that doesn't like to be told what to do, you will pick offense and you see it as, why is this person always attacking me? Because there's a flaw in you, there's something in you that is refusing to accept correction. So I'm talking about both sides now, from the side that it is the person that actually has a character flaw and keeps attacking you, protect yourself, protect your space. Don't give them access to you all the time. You can't avoid them forever. You will see them at family functions or things like that. Keep it limited so that you don't expose yourself to being hurt all the time. But on the flip side, check yourself as well to see what are they talking about? What is that specific thing that they're always hammering on that makes me feel this way? Is it something that triggers something in me? Is it something that is in me? Okay, so that's the way I want to look at it. I hope that kind of helps you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma, for that answer. Before I call the next person that raised their hand, let me quickly read a question from the chat box. So a question came in from Promise. The question reads, in a situation whereby you have forgiven someone, but can't seem to forget the hurt over time, what can you do to heal? Please, any of our facilitators can take the lead on the question. Should I repeat the question?
Okay, I think I got you. In the case where you have forgiven, right? But you are still hurting.
Yes.
That's what the question is
But
saying.
still can forget it.
You can't forget it. So like I said earlier, you won't forget. Or it's the hurt that you won't forget, you said, right? You don't forget the hurt. Yes, it takes time. Forgiveness is a process. Okay, if you are sure that you've chosen to forgive, and I don't know if in this case it is something that you spoke with the person about. There are situations where you need to actually speak with the person. And if it's a case where you can't speak with the person, maybe you should speak with someone else, an older person you respect or that knows both of you, or express yourself, tell them the situation and how you feel. Let someone be able to walk with you through it. Pray about it. The importance of prayer cannot be overemphasized. Pray about it. There are times that you still be hurting about something, and after some time you realize that, oh, it doesn't hurt as much anymore. So sometimes give it time, pray about it, and talk to someone else, someone that you respect, that you know has a good head on their shoulders, that will tell you the truth, not someone that will want to just pamper you and make you feel good.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma, for that answer that you gave.
All right, maybe
Okay,
just
yes.
to also weigh in on that. Yeah, so and also tie it to the first question. You need to realize first that forgiveness is not for the person, it's for you. So you're not forgiving because you're expecting the other person to change. You're forgiving because you're forgiving it's you that your forgiveness is helping first. You are letting go. The person may not even realize the importance of it. I've seen couples of engaged with couples who have gone in diverse situation. A friend of mine whereby we had to talk through things over and over again, and the husband, they finally separated after it took 3 years, they divorced and all of that. And she had to, it was a painful process for her, and she had to finally forgive, and and even wrote back to the man. It took the man over almost 5 years after their experience, after they are divorced. That means 8 years in between, to come back and say, I'm sorry, I realized the wrong I did. In fact, the man had already remarried, he had moved on, he had, before, imagine if she was waiting for him to come and say, I'm sorry, she would have held herself back in that trap for over 8 years. So she had forgiven. When he came back, he didn't mean anything to her. No problem. And the man was all over, oh, I'm sorry. And but the next question is that the fact that she forgave the man, did it mean that she was going to go back into that marriage? No, it didn't mean so. It's not that. So, but again, she was going to also give us. It didn't mean that she was going to keep calling the man and trying and the relationship and all that. Of course, definitely that's not going to happen. So first is that forgiveness is for yourself. Then secondly is that when you forgive does not mean that you forget. And what it just means is also that you also create boundaries that enables you to keep yourself safe from such actions from such people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. The next question here goes like this. It says, it is actually, my question goes this way by Chiamaka Joy. Is it actually possible to forgive and forget? For example, someone who says that he or she has forgiven you. Now, she is not the person that has done the forgiveness. Another person did the forgiveness. But at any slightest provocation, the person keeps on remembering what you did to him or her over and over again. Does that show that the person actually forgave you in the first place? So that's the question.
Okay. So one of the things I don't know why it's like this whole forgive and we've grown up with the mentality. I see a lot of the reputation of forgive and forget, forgive and forget, forgive,
Yes.
live, forget. Well, no, maybe you people should probably create a topic for how to forget. Today's topic is forgive, live, forget alone. So that the place of forgiving is one conversation. Forgetting is another conversation. But we are focused on forgiving for today. Can you truly forgive and forget? Of course, you don't have short-term memory now. So like we say, forgiveness is first a thing of the heart. Forgetfulness is a thing of the memory. You forgive with the heart, you forget with your brain. And as long as your brain has not gone to sleep, the tendency to forget. Yeah, maybe you may even forget, probably because so what happens is that the scenario may go into your subconscious. Maybe you don't remember the full detail, probably out of not thinking about it or remembering it for a long time. You may not, but maybe at slight events, it may come back to your subconscious again. But the idea is that when it comes to your memory, when you remember, it doesn't bring hurt, it doesn't bring anger, it doesn't bring revenge, it doesn't bring all the emotions that comes with unforgiveness back to you. That's the place of forgiveness. You don't feel all the rage again. So and again, now talking to you, the fact that you're forgiving someone doesn't also, if truly you are forgiving, you won't continue to rub it in the person's place. Yes, you may keep a distance, yeah, you may keep a boundary, but does not mean that at every slight opportunity, it takes a lot of that's also now emotional maturity. Yes, you're no more feeling hurt. It also takes some level of emotional maturity also to say that I'm not going to rub this event on your face. I'm not going to, as much as you may not have the opportunity of that space as you used to, but at the same time, I won't also use it to haunt you. I won't also use it to those events to hurt you as well. I'm sure Mrs. Wusi has, something stronger to add.
Why did you say stronger? Okay, let me add something. I think there's a difference between recalling what someone has done in the past, like to keep on saying, Damola, remember the last time you did this to me? I'll not forget. So last week you did, or last month or 2 years ago you did this, and I'm trying to hold it over your head. Now that's not that doesn't help any relationship. In my marriage, for instance, myself and my husband, we decided that if we have any issue, if I have an issue, something he has done or something I've done against him, if I'm bringing it up, I don't need to start referring to last week, last year, referring to past events. Let's deal with this one that is at hand and trash it out, not bringing, because you just go around in circles and you won't achieve anything. However, it is different when there's a pattern. If what you are doing now is the same thing I have been telling you that I do not like, is the same thing that keeps hurting me, and you keep saying you're sorry and you now repeat it, I will have to remind you that, excuse me, this is now a pattern. Remember that last year or last month, this was the same thing that happened when this and this and this happened. Not only that, 3 months ago, this other one happened, and I'm trying to paint a picture of a pattern for you to see that we need to deal with this thing. This is a pattern. This is something you do repeatedly. It's different from hanging it over your head. Say, you, after all, I forgave you the one you did last week, and hanging, no, it's different. So it also takes maturity not to bring up past events when you're trying to deal with a present one. You know, sometimes it's really hard. You want to show the person, you know, you want to prove it like in a court of law to say, I prove it to you that you have done this, you have been doing this, but it takes maturity. So you need to also look inward. Is that friend trying to show you that there's a pattern around what you are doing? Or is the friend hanging it over your head, like dangling it to say, you did this? So you need to deal with that.
Okay, thank you so much, facilitators, for answering the question. And in extension to that question, I would like to ask, because she is saying that she's the person, a recipient of the forgiveness, and not the one who forgave the person. So the person that ought to forgive her is rubbing it on her. So do you expect that she goes back to the person to seek for forgiveness, or she should just leave it at that?
She needs to talk with the person. No doubt they need to have a conversation, and not like an accusatory kind of conversation. The way you talk to someone matters. It will show whether you get something profitable out of it or the person will just go defensive. So you can bring it up with the person that, okay, I recognize that I did this the last time and we talked about it. I don't know how how it went. If you talked about it then and the person said, I forgive you, fine, you can bring that up and say, we talked about it and you said you've forgiven me. How is it that you keep bringing it up? It makes me feel as if you are still bearing grudges or you haven't really forgiven. Is there anything, or have I done another thing that is triggering, that? And, have a conversation. A civil, not when you're angry, not when the person says it again, then you say, hey, you have come again the other time. No, when things are fine, just approach the person and have a conversation.
Okay, thank you so much. The next question here says, since forgiveness is not reconciliation, when do you know what situation can be reconciled? Because it's always as if I'm letting go of supposed God-ordained relationship when not reconciled. So where does one draw the line?
Okay, maybe before Damola speaks, let me quickly say something that forgiveness is a choice, right, that you make. But reconciliation takes both parties. It takes both of you. When you are reconciling, you're bringing together. Reconciliation does not only depend on you. So even if you've forgiven the person, let's say the person hurts you, and you forgive the person, both of you have to be willing to reconcile. Only one person cannot reconcile a relationship. One person can apologize. One person can ask for forgiveness and play her own part or his own part in trying to restore the relationship. But that other person has to reciprocate. In a friendship, you can't have a one-sided friendship, for instance. Both parties have to be willing to be friends. Like the Bible says, can two walk together unless they agree? So reconciliation, it takes both parties. So if they are really God-ordained relationships, as you said, when you choose to forgive, both parties will work towards reconciling. Do you understand? It takes both parties. If the other party is not willing, is saying, I forgive you, but I don't want anything to do with you again, you can't force it. You can only, if, for instance, you broke the person's trust, you can only work towards earning that trust again. Work towards earning that trust. That's what I have to say.
Okay, Mr. Damola, do you have anything to say?
Yes, so very
Question.
true. I think what Ms. Izusi mentioned. So forgiveness is one side. You can forgive, the other person may not decide to. But when it comes to reconciliation, it's that first both of you must acknowledge that, okay, this is my part, this is the wrong I've done, and I'm willing to improve on it. This is the wrong that you have done, and we both come to a compromise and agree that, okay, this is where we have wronged each other, and we're ready to make things better or improve. You don't reconcile an abusive relationship or a relationship that the other party is not willing to take responsibility or willing to improve on him or herself, and just expect that. So once you come to a relation whereby all you see is the wrong in the other person, and the other person is also pointing out the wrong you are doing, but you are not seeing it, and you just feel like is only one party that is wrong, and you don't have anything or any improvement to make, that kind of relationship can't be reconcile. Even if both of you come and just okay, for the sake of God, let's just move on. But things won't be very soon. You'll still go back, or that relationship will still get broken sooner or later again.
Okay, still on the topic of forgive and forget. So someone brought a question that I don't think I can avoid. It says, can you really forget even if you forgive a parent who abandoned and disown you? Not because you're a bad child, but because you chose the right path to go in life, converted. I believe that would be religion, right? So life goes on. You struggled with the help of a non-family. You gained admission, you enter school, then you start to see other people's children doing well in school financially, emotionally, and some other aspects. But you didn't have that opportunity because your own parents are not there for you to do that. Just because of excuses that is not genuine. So even though you forgive that parent, with the circumstances around you, will you be able to forget what they are supposed to do, or do in your life? Are you able to forget what they're supposed to be or do in your life? That's a question.
Okay, I
Okay.
see it. Okay, Mr. Damola, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, ma. So, well, the thing in life is that for every decision we take, probably comes with an opposing reaction. Yeah, so you choose a faith that you believe strongly. It's part of the test of your faith. It's one of the sacrifice you had to carry. So you won't, and good enough, God has been faithful to you. Come on, whether the fact that those other people, they have better supporting period, they had opportunities, they were able to, they had a better edge start, but their better edge start is not even making them look like, in quotes, they are maybe better than you. After all, both of you are in the same class, both of you are learning from the same source, both of you are gaining the same level of knowledge that the privileged, and you that seemingly looked unprivileged is not getting. And God is also raising people around you to also support you. So first, you should be grateful for that and thank God for not leaving you stranded without help, without people, and come to that place that even with this your condition, you have truly been helped by God. That's number one. Number two, again, is that, as we'll keep saying, is that the fact that I'm forgiving you doesn't also mean you already know that these people will not change, or that. So the forgiveness really is to help you truly free your mind. It's not necessarily to change. So your forgiveness does not change their attitude, or is not necessarily going to change their character or their behavior. And one of the things that you also need to come to understand also is that in this choice that you have made, love wins all. You're not going to win this fight or this battle, in quote, or this engagement through hatred, through resentment, through anger, through all of this. You will win this through love. You know, and again, you also need to keep praying for them, and you'll see that sooner or later, the difference is going to be in the person you become. So the goal of this whole thing, what will mark it, is that they will see that this person that we didn't support, or this choice of yours that we didn't support, has finally turned out to making you be one of the best, among the children or the family, and you look like, suddenly it looks like you are the light in the family. Your testimony, which is the person you become, is the true transformation that the family needs. So not whether they forgive you or they don't forgive you. Very soon, your testimony, the person you are becoming, through the faith you have believed in, through the words that you are hearing, through the person that you are becoming, is what will really bring about, the difference in whether this choice you have made makes sense or not. Mrs. Wosiva.
In fact, I think you hit the nail on the head. And really, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. But I'd like to tell you that what you go through sometimes forms you and prepares you for a greater good ahead. And like Damola said, Sometimes you build resilience through such experiences. You see that people who have comfortable home, parents that provide everything for them, they kind of take it for granted, right? And they think the world is at their beck and call. So they may not even put in as much effort that they ought to, while someone that has to struggle would know that, see, nothing is gotten on a platter. I have to put in my best, resilience, work hard and all that. And you see that tomorrow, the person that struggled may be better off. Because when it's just like the story of the caterpillar or the butterfly, if you help it through that, when it's going through the the life cycle of a butterfly, when it's passing through, when the pupa, the larva, all that, when it's trying to struggle out before it becomes a full butterfly. If you help it, if you are watching it, the caterpillar, and you want to help break through that tough skin that it's trying to break out of, if you help it, at the end of the day, that butterfly, the wings are not as strong as they should be, because that struggle, the butterfly needs it in order to form strong wings for it to fly later. There's a kind of help that you help somebody. Some of our children, I'm sorry, they are spoiled and pampered, and they can't think further than, as in they can't think at their highest capacity because of the level of comfort they have. Look at a lot of great men today. If you hear their stories, they came from nowhere. And because they came from nothing, they knew that, man, nobody is giving me free anything. I have to work hard for it. So they use that as a stepping stone. It's either you will use your story as a stepping stone, or you keep staying down and say, my parents were not there for me. They didn't do anything to help me. As they say, your background should not be the reason why your back should be on the ground. This has already happened. It has happened. How are you going to harness everything in your situation to move higher and ensure that your own children don't go through that, or don't have an absent parent, that you are present for your children? Okay, that's the way we think. I can say there may be some form of childhood trauma there that you may have to go through and sit with yourself and allow the word of God. Thank God you are now a believer. Allow the word of God to walk through you and see God as the parent that will never leave you, even if your earthly parents do. It hurts, no doubt. It's painful. For me, my dad died when I was 6. It's not like he left, he died. But there are times I'm like, but why did he have to die? I was that young. Why didn't I? How can I? You see some people, they have their parents up to age 90 and all. Well, my dad died maybe in his 30s, late 30s. And I'm like, why? Sometimes I'm like, God, why did you have to allow that happen? Well, what did I do that I did not deserve to grow up with a father? Do you understand that kind of thing? But no, I see it as, okay, God is now that father that will never leave me. It made me connect with my heavenly father more. Since I don't have an earthly father to connect with, okay, let me connect with my heavenly father. Okay, so let it be a stepping stone for you, not a basis for you just keep comparing yourself with other people and seeing even people that have everything. If you compare yourself with other people, you won't even see the blessings that you have. If you look at those people that you are looking at and you're saying they have everything, so they had better opportunities, check them and see. They have other people they are comparing themselves with and wondering why they don't have what those other people have. So in life, you can never have it all. Even if you grew with both parents, they gave you all the opportunities, you'll still be looking at another one. Sometimes my children will come and say, these other people in this house, they have this, they have that. I'm like, my house, my rules. Oh. Am I that person's mother? Is that person my son? No, this is the rule I'm making for you. So we live by our own house rules, not by the rules of another person. So every human being has the tendency to want to compare their lives with other people, but that won't help us. So don't do that comparison thing. You are seeing the gaps because you are comparing. You are looking at those people and saying, now they have this now because their parents were there. That's an excuse. There are people whose parents were there or are there and they don't even have even what you have. Okay, so don't descend to that place where you keep yourself in that place where you have that self-pity and seeing all your gaps because of what you did not have. That's what I have to say.
Okay, thank you so much, facilitator. I think we'll just take one more question and that will be all for the Q&A. This question, I'm going to shorten it because of our time. The person is asking that how can they set boundaries or safeguard themselves against situations where they will have to forgive people, especially if they are in an environment that are filled with people that are really bad, narcissists, right? Yeah, and manipulative people. So how do they safeguard? Is there a need for them to safeguard their mind against things that are coming that might easily offend them and then require them to forgive?
Okay, maybe let me quickly go on this before Damola says something. I think every human being should have values and you should have deal breakers. For me, there are some things that I cannot stand. No matter who you are, if you have a foul mouth, I'm sorry, we can't be close. If you have a mouth that talks anyhow, you talk before you think, you are loose with your words, you just talk all over the place, you easily insult people, or you use vulgar words, you say things and you do not mean them, or you don't keep your word, we can't be close. So if I give you a chance, okay, we just meet, we are getting to know each other, and I notice it once, twice, three, and I've seen that that's your character. It's a pattern, it's something you're used to. I will talk about it, of course. But if I see that you're not even willing to change, you're not making any effort, you feel like I am who I am, I'm fine, this is me, you will take me as I am. No, I'm sorry, I'm going to give you space. I'm going to move. You and I can never be close friends that will continually be in each other's spaces. No. So boundaries, what are your boundaries? The thing is, some of us don't know what we want. We don't choose our friends. We just allow people choose us. If we are people pleasers, then we'll get into trouble. If you just want to have people in your corner, no matter who they are or how they are, you don't want to be on your own, you will get into trouble, because that means everybody is welcome. When you have your values, when you have some things that are a no-no for you, when you encounter somebody the first time, by the second time, you already know whether you can flow with this person or not. You already know whether this person can be in your space or not. You mustn't be friends with everybody. You know, some of us, when we first get into school, just one, we're just trying to discover ourselves. There are friends. How many of you had friends in just one? Your bestie in just one. But by just two or just three, by senior secondary, you were nowhere close to friends. You were just acquaintances. You had a completely different set of friends, because you've been able to sift, and somehow character was outdoing character until like minds came together till the very end. And by the time you're graduating from secondary school, you knew the ones that you were close to. Those ones were like in history, you used to be close. Maybe you didn't even really fight, but somehow your values just sorted themselves out. That's how it should be. Even today, even as in university, as adults, or when you meet people, check them out, observe. Don't just be so desperate to have people in your corner that you take anything and everything. Be comfortable with your own self. Enjoy your own company. Know who you are, so much so that you don't take rubbish because you want to have friends. Okay? Have your boundaries. And I think that should help you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Wusi.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Husi. So, yeah, on top of that, haven't had your boundaries. I also want to maybe also look at it from the other side as well. Sometimes to us we also grow. The question again is checking yourself. Also, sometimes you see that some of the things that really get to hurt you, probably hope is not even what will make you better. Or because you also need to, like, I want to tie this to a question someone also asked there. And there are some persons that maybe you might even need especially for the female, maybe one-on-one session with a Mrs. Wusi. And so I think you should feel free to reach out to the admin, because sessions like these are not things that are just maybe thought of one off, and there may be people with genuine scenarios or situations that really want to have that you may need to create a tailor path for, and maybe you can reach out to Rhoda, and of course she can also connect you. Like, I see someone here also saying that the people that are hurting you are in the same house and you are living with them every day. How do you survive that? Are you going to run away from the house? Do you need to build coping mechanisms and all of that? So what I just want to add to this is you also need to check yourself that hope I'm not even hope I'm not the problem. Hope because yeah, it's easy. Whatever we are saying now, we're only hearing your part of the conversation. Maybe when we also hear the other part of the conversation of how you're stubborn, how you don't listen, how your parent gives you an instruction, you don't follow through, and then they react and you say that they are hurting you. And there's a common language happening now, even in this for the Gen Zs. When you are hard or harsh on them, they say you're emotionally hurting. My
Your
mental
mental
health.
health.
You hear,
Mental health.
so those ones are becoming very, very popular. Those days when people say mental health is an hallowed, you don't want to talk about it. It's something that you need to get to some degree to have conversation. But you hear a lot of Gen Z say my mental health. You see it in the workplace. Small pressure, small shout is your mental health is being affected. So hope it's that you are not building emotional stamina to take some things. You are not able to, you are not building stamina to hear strong truth. You still want to feed on milk. You want people to still pet you and say, that thing you do it now, and they just rub your hair. You don't want people to tell, guy, you are being foolish. Yeah, this thing you are doing does not make sense. You are not, so you need to check well. Is it that I don't know how to take strong truths? Is it that like someone will always tell me, you say, I would rather flog you to your destiny than pet you to your grave. So some of us, we want people to pet us, we want people to pamper us, even when we are doing, we say, how would you just shout on me? Can't you say it in a nicer? How nice can you say truth? Whether it comes in a hard way or it comes in anyhow, truth comes, just accommodate it. Sometimes truth is not easy to take, it's not sweet. So have you built the emotional stamina to decipher, okay, this thing, is it really truth, or is it someone just deliberately wanting to get at you? So I'm also being careful how we also respond or answer some of these things, because really some of us might need to check us. It's just that you don't have emotional or mental capacity to take some truths that are to build you up. We have been built on milk. You need to come to take strong meat sometimes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Mrs. Usi. Thank you, Mr. Damola. We would like to hear if you have any final thoughts you want to share with us as we conclude the session.
Okay, I have to go first in this one now. My mentor will go after me. Because once you've closed the session, church has closed.
Oh,
All right. Like, if there is nothing that we've heard from all that we have said, first is that forgiveness is first for you. You are not in control of how. I also see questions around person's character. What if the person, what would you continue to forgive people if they continue to behave in particular ways? Hear what we are saying. What we are saying is that first, forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. So yeah, people might have hurt you, but you have let go. You don't feel hurt. Even when you remember those things, they don't create any emotional rage for you anymore. Then thirdly is that the fact that you are forgiving doesn't mean that you let loose of yourself to be hurt again. In fact, it's going to be foolishness. So it means that you need to also learn to set boundaries. If you see that giving this person this opportunity, it keeps doing, cut off the opportunity. Find ways to manage things better. What we are dealing with here today, we are not dealing with how the other person behaves or how the other person is supposed to behave or the sense the other person does not have. No, that's not what we are dealing. What we're dealing with is you. How do you build yourself out of this? How do you live a better life? How do you live a healthy life? How do you not drink poison and expect that the other person dies? So it's how do you manage your own emotions? How do you heal through the hurting situation so that you can have a better life? How do you heal from the past and helps you to improve the present so that you can have a better future? And that's what we're discussing here today. Thank you.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Damola. Thank you so much. So for me, I'd say that forgiveness is something that you give yourself. It's like a gift you're giving yourself. If you want lightweight, you want peace, you want a light heart, you don't want heaviness, you don't want bitterness, you need to give it. It is not optional. It shouldn't be optional for you. It shouldn't be if the person does this, if he says this, I will forgive. It shouldn't be optional. Don't give the person the power. Let the power lie with you. Choose to forgive. Don't make it dependent on anybody else, just like Damola said. So look inward, work on yourself, develop yourself, be self-aware. It goes a long way in making you know yourself, know what triggers you, know whether you are even the one at fault, you are the one being too touchy or too sensitive, or you're the one over expecting from people, because it can be from you too. The fault can be from you. If everybody keeps offending you, everybody is offending you, you need to stop and look inward. So where forgiveness is concerned, start from within. Search your heart and be true to yourself. Don't be afraid to keep learning. Learn about forgiveness. Read books about it. Ask the Holy Spirit for help. Pray about it. Let God help you. And forgive. Choose to forgive. Make that choice every time you are hurt. Make that choice to forgive. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, our dear facilitators. Our dears, kindly make sure you use the chat box to show your appreciation.
Thank you so much.
Over to you, Loichi.
Thank you, Rhoda. Thank you so much, Mrs. Lucy. Thank you so much, Mr. Damola. Like I've just been behind the scenes, like listening, and it's been overwhelming in terms of a very good impact in me. How that forgiveness is really about me first, and then the other person. So thank you so much for such an inspiring and enlightening session today we've had. And we cannot thank you enough. On behalf of our mentorship coordinator, Mrs. Choma, I remember, want to extend a heartfelt gratitude to joining us. Even at the short call, you came through for us. You were there, through the dry ones and everything, and through the you might not know the process that goes on behind the scenes for us to be here, but they stay with us through the process, and all because they want to add value to your lives. So thank you all also for showing up today and staying with us up to this time. We apologize for taking some extra minutes on the time, but we couldn't but help but take on those questions. I want to say thank you once again for joining us today. So over now, I'll be taking quick announcements, and then we'll be calling it a wrap. Well, let's celebrate our facilitators. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank
And
you.
yes, we really, really,
Thank
really
you for having us.
thank you,
Bye.
man. All right, man. Take care. Take care,
Yeah,
sir.
bye. Yeah.
Okay, hello, Audis. Hello, everyone. So we have some quick announcements for us to, pay attention to. So, first of all, I want to say congratulations to everyone. So far, so good. You've been attending MMM, and I'm sure it has been a very welcoming session for each and every one of us. Thank you for going through your workbook on character, attitude, choices, all of those enlightening topics we've had. And I'm sure and I'm certain that you have all been, partaking, you've been benefiting, and the workbooks have been of value to you. What I'm going to say is that please remember that the workbook submission closes today by 7 p.m. So we extended the time to give grace to us because we realized a lot of us are writing exams. So the time has been extended. So make sure that you make the maximum use of this time that you have now to submit your workbook. Make sure you submit your workbooks, and if you have any issues, some of us have been reaching out that they're having issues. So please, 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 if you have any issues whatsoever, let us know so that we can guide you, can be of great help to you as you do so. Another pressing information I want to pass across to us is, first of all, I want to give a shout out to everyone that has, submitted entry for Lead Coordinators Award. It seems like not everybody has understanding on what we're trying to achieve with the Lead Coordinators Award here. So the idea of the Lead Coordinators Award is that we have opened, prior to this time, it used to be a form we send for you to fill your entry, but now we are saying apply, nominate yourself or nominate someone for the Lead Coordinators Award using a video presentation. So put a video up there on social media. The reason why we are saying put a video on social media is for two major reasons. One, it's for us to see your story and connect to your story. Two, it's also for others to hear your story and be impacted by your story. So we are connecting to two streams of impact. One is for us to see the story and hear the story. Another is for people to connect with your story. So when we say post on Instagram, post on TikTok, post on LinkedIn, tag us. We are seeing we've gotten over 10 plus entries and we are there. Entries are supposed to be closing today, but for the sake of persons who have reached out, they're saying, okay, we'll extend it up until Wednesday. So entries are closing on Wednesday. So if you know you've not made your video, you've not posted and you've not tagged us, please do so between now and Wednesday. It's a very simple video, less than 2 minutes. Just talk about your impact. You could use any of the categories. You could nominate yourself in any category of your choice. It could be the lead coordinators award of honor. It could be for leadership category. It could be on, community impact. It could be on sports category. It could be on, the academic performance. It could be on leadership. It could be on creatives and arts. Just go to our page on Instagram, and you will find the link you find the announcement about it on how to go about. So just create your video, put it there on social media. I trust that we understand and we are also going to do that. The idea is for you to tell your story so that the world can connect to you and we also can connect to you on a very personal level. Shout out to everyone who has posted and they've been very awesome. Some of us have given a shout out to our mentors and that has been very, very heartwarming and heartfelt. So once again, please make sure you create a video between today and Wednesday. Tag us on all platforms. We are on LinkedIn, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on TikTok. So whichever one you want to use, do that, tag us, and we will be sure to, vet your video. And we've already started making, and let me also remind you that the Lead Coordinator Award of Honor is not just an award, it also comes with cash value. There is good amount of money attached to it already, but that shouldn't be your motivation. That should just be an extra momentum for you. But there is money for those that won last year. I think we have some participants who won last year, and the value for this year is also going to be higher than that of last year. And congratulations once again. And lastly, the final announcement for today is that for ESP 2027, 2026, application is ongoing for new applicants, has closed for the meantime. However, for we who are existing applicants, for your application, you would be screened using your PG score. So we'll be posting screening criteria so that you know how we did this thing, so that you're clear on how we arrived at the selected persons. So do not be afraid to say, I've not received the code, I've not sent any mail, I've done this, and no, don't panic. Rather, just wait on. We're going to use the PG to screen for eligibility, and also we're going to use your CGPA. So if you know you're not having an amazing CGPA, it's also going to be a factor also, because we in Hill City, we are an all-round performance indicators. We look around your general life, not just what we do, but you holistically. So thank you so much once again for that. Remember, workbook for submission ends 7 p.m. today. Thank you so much. Hi, Grace. Good to see you. Thank you so much, everyone. And, have a lovely, lovely, lovely week ahead. If you have any concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to us to the DM. We might be slow to respond, but we will definitely respond to you. Thank you so much, everyone. Hi, Rhoda. Do you have any updates for us, or do we call it a wrap on here?
I think we should call it a wrap.
All right, thank you so much. And once again, apologies for taking so much time. We had questions and they were very necessary questions we needed to, treat and deal with. So thank you once again. And if there's something you'd like Hill City Foundation to talk about, and that you, over the course of our MMN, you've not seen us talk about it, kindly reach out to me on my DMs. Tell me, can we talk about this? Can we throw more light on this? Can we do this? Can we do that? And we'll be sure to evaluate and see how best we can approach that matter. Thank you so much. And once again, on behalf of the mentorship team, I want to say thank you for joining us today and have a great, great week ahead. Happy holidays, everyone. And success to all those who just finished their exams, those who are still writing exams, success to you. And those who are on holiday, enjoy your holiday. Thank you, Rhoda, and every admin team member on call. We really appreciate the effort you put into the work. Thank you, Rhoda, so much, so much, so much. And goodbye, everyone. Stay safe.
Goodbye, everyone.